Hello everyone, Ron here from L.T.L Tutoring Central, and this week I'm talking about the platforms and tools that online teachers and online learners can use. And if you know me, you know that I think all teachers and tutors should be learners and all learners should be teachers, because once you've learned something, if you teach it to someone else, you grasp it even more yourself, and you should always be willing and wanting to upgrade your skills. So, this video is being made, and the blog also. I want you to look at the blog because I didn't put the links with the video. I'll put a link to the blog and a link to the website. But look at the blog because it will have the links that you can, the clickable links for all the different products that I'm talking about, or most of the products I'm talking about in this video. And another reason I'm making it is because some people who want to be tutors or teachers online are not sure whether it will work as well as in person. A lot of learners are not sure whether they can take courses online and get the same results. And and parents as well are wondering, well, should I have my child do an online course or do lessons with an online tutor? And this is to help you become more comfortable with the idea of online tutor. I do a lot of in-person tutoring. You can see the big table behind me where I meet with students all the time, but I do online tutoring as well. And today with the technology, there is absolutely no reason that you can't learn online or that you can't teach online. There's so many different tools that you can use. Now for face-to-face, or so to speak, electronically face-to-face tutoring, I use and recommend Skype, Zoom, possibly a little better than Skype in some ways, and or BitPaper, which can be used in combination with Zoom or on its own. And with these platforms or these tools, you can see your student. The student can see you if you so desire. As long as you have a reasonable bandwidth with Zoom, it's very good. It doesn't use as much as Skype and seems to work in many countries. So you can see the student can see you, you can hear each other, you can talk back and forth just as you would if you were in front of each other. You can, with BitPaper and Zoom, you can share documents, you can write on these documents, you can highlight them, the student can highlight them, the student can write on them and answer questions right on the screen. You can share your screens and you can do all of this. And you can save these documents. You can save the recordings if you want to. It's all up to you which tools you use or which parts of the tools you use. But you can save these lessons or these documents for use later, or just the student can have them to remind them of what to do in a math question or if it's an English lesson. So those are really good. It's just almost exactly the same as being in front of a student. You'll notice I sometimes talk with my hands. If I lower the camera or back up a bit, you'll see my hands more. So we can even talk with our gestures that we use, our facial expressions. So it's very similar to having the student in front of you, or the student having the teacher in front. I will be looking at my notes here from time to time because I've made a long list of different tools, so excuse me for that. With Google Docs, Google Drive, you can of course share documents that way as well. You're not seeing each other, but you can share screen with those as well. You can set up a Google Classroom. If you're a teacher and you want to have Classroom, I have Classrooms, a couple of Google Classrooms, and I just name them the name of the student for me because I don't generally teach in groups online. So each classroom is just the individual student, and his or her documents and assignments are in there if we're using that. You can email directly. That's a little bit of the more of the older style, what we started off with, but you can still do that, of course. You can send messages just by regular email. Dropbox, you can share files that way. I haven't used it a lot, but it's a useful tool for some. Evernote, you can share through Evernote. You can also do comments in Evernote. I have done that. ReadWorks and Reading Vine. These ones are sites where you can find a lot of reading material to assign to your students. And I know with ReadWorks you can assign it to the student. You can assign the questions to the student. You can assign so that it reads to the student if the student is not a particularly strong reader and needs to hear what's being said. So that is something the student can do on his or her own, and then when you're together, you can work on that and see how his or her reading has improved. And of course, you can go over the questions together as well. There's all kinds of grades you can choose from, or L.T.L levels you can choose from. So Reading Vine and Reading Works, or ReadWorks rather, are very good tools for reading. Khan Academy has great video. It's got a great video source. It has a lot of information, particularly about math and science. CK12, again, primarily math and science, but you can assign lessons to students. They can do them online, and you'll get results through CK12. And I believe they've hooked up a little bit with Google Classroom. I haven't really used that combination too much. Trello is a good site to organize yourself, and you can collaborate with teams. I have some lists on Trello. It makes it easy for me to find them. There's some things, to-do list. There's some website links that I've just listed on there, ones that I might want to use in the future or ones that I use now. But you can do a lot of things with Trello. Evernote I mentioned before, but it's also an organizer, and so much more. East of the Web has short stories and word games. Brain Genie, it's connected to ck12.org, but and I have used that quite a bit. You can assign different math sections to students, and they can do it online, and you get the results and see how they're doing, where their weak spots are, and where you need to help them. The math worksheet site, you can make up your own worksheets with all different things, but multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, all different levels, borrowing, not borrowing, regrouping. Desmos, a site for graphing. OpenLibrary.org, this is just like it sounds, like a library where you can read books or borrow books online. And, excuse me, they have a very large resource there. All different levels, all different kinds of books. So that's an excellent source to find some material that you might want to use with your student. Because if you're like me, if you're a teacher or tutor, but even if you're a learner, you might want a particular type of material, and you might need a certain grade level or L.T.L level, and you might need a certain interest topic as well. So you can find that at the library, as well as Reading Vine and ReadWorks. ReadWriteThink.org, it's free language arts material can be found there. WritingSparks.com, instant writing challenges. It's a good way to get students started, especially if they have trouble thinking of topics or thinking of things to write about. And of course, there are YouTube videos. You're watching one right now, and there's lots of things that you can learn on YouTube directly, or as a teacher, you can use different YouTube videos and incorporate them into your class or your lessons and help students to understand the material. And that can be anything from math, English, science, physics, whatever. Lots and lots of things YouTube has to offer as well. There are many, many, many more. These are only a few resources, tools that you can use. And in future blogs and videos, I will be preparing some more specific details about each one of these. I'm not sure I'll do all of them, but I'll do several of them to help you understand how to use them, maybe even show you how to use some of the ones that I really like and that I use fairly frequently. But there are lots and lots that you can use, so you may find some of your favorites, and you can mention them in the comments here or in the blog. If you go check out the blog, there'll be a link below. So you can see that tutoring online allows you to see and hear the student, and the student can see and hear the teacher or the tutor. You can share documents. You can change documents live. Of course, you can leave it with them, and they can change it or write their own material and get back to you in the next lesson as well. But you can also do it live, because if they've done some editing or if they've written their own paragraph, you can come online with them during your next live lesson, and you can actually write on there or type on there and show the student where he or she has gone wrong, where he or she has gone right. You can draw a little happy face. You can do many, many things to encourage them, but also to correct them and to help them proceed in the future. And you can share these documents. You can find materials, lots of materials to use. All of the tools and sites that I've mentioned are free, or at least they have free versions at the time of this recording. There are other free resources as well, but then there are some paid ones that are very good also. But I wanted to get you started with some free sites and platforms that you can try, see how they work for you. If you have any questions, let me know. You can put it into this YouTube video, or again the blog, or you can contact me by email. There will be a link to the blog and a link to the website below. So very easy to get in touch with Ron from L.T.L. Tutoring Central. That's it for this week. Have fun teaching, have fun learning. Don't forget to do both. And we'll talk to you again next week. Bye-bye for now.